Welcome to Bible Bedtime Children. The Bible story of Joseph. Joseph was sold by his brothers and ended up in the land of Egypt. While in Egypt, God was with Joseph, and things went very well for him. His master Potiphar saw that God was with him and put Joseph in charge of all that he had. God blessed Potiphar's home, all because Joseph was there. Now Joseph was very handsome, and Potiphar's wife longed for him. She wanted to be with Joseph, but Joseph would not do such a wicked thing to his master Potiphar. One day, he went to work alone in the house. His master Potiphar's wife grabbed him by his coat and asked him to be with her. Joseph immediately left the house, but forgot his coat in her hands. When Potiphar came home, his wife said, "The Hebrew servant you brought came in to mock me. When I lifted my voice to cry out, he ran and left his coat." When Potiphar heard this, he was very upset. He took Joseph and immediately threw him into prison. While in prison, God was still with Joseph. God showed him love and gave him favor with the keeper of the prison. The keeper put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners, and Joseph succeeded in everything. One day, the king's cupbearer and baker made the king very upset. So he took them and placed them into prison. They were both placed alongside Joseph. Now one night, the baker and cupbearer both had a dream. When Joseph saw them the next morning, their faces looked troubled. Joseph asked them about this, so they told Joseph they had dreams, but there was no one to interpret them. Joseph answered, "Do not interpretations belong to the Lord? Please, tell me your dreams." In the cupbearer's dream, he saw 3 branches. The branches blossomed and became a grapevine. When the grapes ripened, he took the juice and pressed it into Pharaoh's cup to give him. Joseph listened and said, "The dream means that in 3 days, Pharaoh will take you out of prison and give you back your job as cupbearer." He asked the cupbearer to remember him when he gets out by telling Pharaoh about him and that he did nothing wrong. The baker then told his dream to Joseph next. The baker dreamt there were 3 baskets of baked food on his head, but there were birds eating out of the basket on his head. Joseph listened and responded to the baker. The interpretation is this: in 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from you, and the birds will eat your flesh." This was not good news for the baker to hear. On the third day, it was Pharaoh's birthday, and the cupbearer did get his job back as Joseph told him, and the baker was hanged. Once the cupbearer got his job back, he forgot about how Joseph helped him. 2 years passed, and Pharaoh had a dream. After he woke up, he went back to sleep again, and yet had another dream. When the morning came, he was very upset by the dream he had. He sent for all the magicians of Egypt to interpret the dream, but no one couldn't. Finally, the cupbearer remembered Joseph and how he had helped him with his dream when he was in prison. He told Pharaoh about Joseph, and Pharaoh sent for him from prison. Joseph's beard was shaved and his clothes were changed before he was brought to Pharaoh. When he came before Pharaoh, Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I have a dream, and there is no one that can interpret it. I have heard you can hear a dream and interpret it." Joseph replied, "It is not in me. It is God that will give Pharaoh a favorable answer." Pharaoh then shared the dream. "I was standing by the Nile when 7 healthy cows came up out of the river and grazed on the grass. 7 other cows came up after that were poor, very ugly, and thin. The ugly cows ate up the first 7 plump cows. But when they had eaten them, they were still as ugly as the beginning. I woke up, went back to sleep, and had another dream. In this dream, I saw 7 healthy heads of grain on one stalk. Then I saw 7 unhealthy thin heads of grain on another stalk. The unhealthy grain swallowed up the healthy grains, and there is no one who can explain these dreams to me." Joseph responded, "Both dreams mean the same thing. The 7 good cows and 7 good heads of grain are 7 years of plenty. The 7 unhealthy cows and the 7 heads of unhealthy grains that came up after are 7 years of famine." He told Pharaoh to pick wise men over the land of Egypt to gather all the food from the good years so that they will have enough food when the 7 years of famine begins. Pharaoh then said, "Since God has shown you all of this, there is none as wise as you. You shall be over my house, and everyone shall listen to your commands." Pharaoh then set Joseph over all the land of Egypt. He gave Joseph a signet ring and put it on Joseph's hands. Joseph received new fine clothes and a gold chain around his neck. Joseph was 30 years old when he entered service with Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. After spending time in a pit, then a prison, Joseph had now been placed by God to live and fulfill his dream in the palace. He became married and gave Pharaoh wise advice to prepare. It would only be a matter of time till he reunited with his father and brothers during the famine. The Bible story of Joseph. God's blessings to you and your family always. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.